Well, it's been a busy morning chipping. I now have a nice pile of wood chip. I'll take you down to the forest and show you where I've been working. I gotta go collect the tractor. It's starting to rain now, so I gotta throw a tarp over this. Didn't film any of it. I've shown chipping before on the channel. Don't know if you're that interested in it. I got a lot of chipping to do this winter, so there will be chipping content on the channel. But anyway, now that I got this chip, I can clean the barn, I can get the calves out, I can put the cows in the barn, because winter is here. It was cold last night, we had frost, we had ice last night. It was 32 or below, and yeah, it's time for the cows to be in the barn, so hopefully later this week. It is Tuesday morning, and we are dragging our tails, because we were up way past midnight last night, because Miss Lottie here decided to have a medical emergency. She came down with milk fever yesterday, and I called her in for milking. She was staggering, and by the time milking was done, she'd collapsed in the parlor. So I hooked the tractor up to the horse trailer and bring it down here. Now, I was planning on doing that today anyway, because we have to load the 2 bull calves to go to slaughter. But at like 11:30, I hooked the trailer on, backed it down here in the dark. Vet came, treated her. Lottie was caught right there in the parlor as we tried to get her out. And we got her, as soon as she got the calcium, which is how you treat milk fever, she got up and walked right there. But before that, it looked like she was about to die. So that was far more chaos and trouble than we actually wanted. So yeah, that was an annoying end to yesterday. So today, hoping to load veal calves, hoping to, so calcium gluconate and Calphos with potassium. We are hoping to load the veal calves, and then I've got to clean this barn. We put Lottie in the horse trailer because the calves are still in the barn. There's no pen for her other than the horse trailer, and it works pretty good as a sick bay when it's not needed, like I need it tomorrow. So fortunately, Lottie's good. We're gonna walk her down here for milking when it's her turn, and we've got to run her through the new crush because we have to give her a calcium bolus. I also have to check the minerals out in the field to make sure that they're not depleted, and to top them up, because we don't want any other cows coming down with anything. It's maybe a forage related thing. It may be potassium imbalance with the silage that we bought. So we're gonna have to get that analyzed. So anyway, today has been a little bit fraught, and last night was definitely fraught. All right, well, I just went out in the field and found Libby down too. So that's a second cow in 24 hours. We've got the feed rep coming to test the forage, and they got the vet coming back to treat Libby. Now we do have a problem with what the hell's going on. So obviously there's an imbalance, and it's biting us in the ass. I gotta check the mineral bar. I just drove the heifers out of the field to leave Libby alone. She's at least dry and not muddy in the field, and should be more comfortable. And if she comes into the barn, now I gotta go check on her, because she can't really walk. She's staggering around. You stay out here, Libby. All right, darling. You can stay out here, sweetheart. Sweetie, you stay out here. It's better for you to be out here. So one of the things milk fever does is they lose sensation in their hind legs or legs in general, and they have a hard time walking. This could also be something known as grass staggers, but we're not on lush grass here, so I doubt it's tetany. But this has to be treated. So, yeah, this isn't great. Hi, sweetheart. All right, the thing is, they got to stay calm. You can't really get them excited. You stay out here, sweetheart. All right, I'm gonna go check the minerals in the mineral bar, and then look in on Lottie again. All this is taking away from milking. Had a moment of panic. I went to check on the cow. I couldn't see her anywhere. She had been right here, headed into the lane to head to the barn, but it turns out she's all the way across the field up against the cemetery fence. I think I'll leave her there for the time being. I can observe her. She's recumbent, which is good. If she's comfortable up there, just rather than hassle her, just keep an eye out. The vet's gonna be here 2 hours to get here today because he's on other calls. So we'll see what happens. Lottie seems fine anyway. Hi, darling.
Sometimes it helps, you know, right now our collars are out in the way, but you can do that.
Yeah.
Jugular vein usually rides in this, they call it the jugular groove.
Yeah.
Okay. Being right-handed, I use my left hand and my thumb.
Okay.
Get that vein to come up. See it?
Yeah. All right. Right there. Today and last night even have been a thrash. Absolute chaotic ridiculousness. Last night, obviously, yeah, Lottie, during milking, collapsed in the parlor. Wasn't exactly sure, but it definitely looked like milk fever. That's what we treated her for. She responded well to the intravenous calcium, and we put her in a horse trailer up here overnight just to make sure she was dry and warm and cozy out of the wind and the rain, not in the mud or anything, and if she had a relapse or something, she would be contained and safe. Nothing happened. She was fine. She walked out of the trailer and right down into the parlor and got milk this morning. While she was here, we gave her a calcium bolus in the new crush. Meanwhile, I went out to collect the cows this morning, the other cows, and Libby was lame and weak in the hind end, and she was going down with milk fever. So had an expensive vet called the vet out. This time he showed me how to do an intravenous injection, how to take care of the cow, how to tie her up correctly to make sure that everybody's safe doing the injection. And we did 2 injections on her. Again, the calcium's 2 different liquid calcium intravenous supplements. And she seems to be doing fine. The question is, are any of the other cows going to come down with this? We're pretty sure that it's feed related, that somehow the silage I bought is maybe too high in potassium or too low in something, or something's out of whack in their system, because that's generally what, you know, this means. So we're going to give everybody a calcium bolus today, later. I'm going to go clean the barn right now. We still have to load the 2 veal calves. Now that Lottie's not in the horse trailer overnight, we'll put the calves in there so it's ready to go first thing in the morning tomorrow. I hope we don't have any other issues. Now, Lottie and Libby are both high production cows. They're both older. Our next concern is really Mabel. She might be at issue. So again, boluses with a slow release calcium supplement should help that. And just so the other thing today was, well, the vet came exactly at the same time that the feed rep nutritionist came for the feed company, and she tested the silage, some of the silage I bought, and she looked at the grain. That we have a mold issue in the grain. I think there may be a leak in that new bin. Not exactly sure, not happy. So we're gonna have to empty the bin and clean it. We just got a delivery of grain, so it's gonna take a while, so that's annoying. But anyway, she's gonna analyze the silage that we have on hand and make a recommendation whether we need to change the feed going forward, and also help identify if there is any imbalance that's contributing to the cows being out of whack. And hopefully that will resolve everything. And meanwhile, she did ask a bunch of questions. I wasn't there. Allison was the one who handled that end. I was up in the field with the vet, taking care of Libby. So we're gonna have to review our notes, and hopefully Michelle, the feed rep, will get back to us, and we can zero in on a good nutrition program for the cows, both now and late lactation, and their transition period when they're dry, going into being giving birth. Yeah, it's just been a zoo here today, and last night we didn't get to bed till 1 o'clock in the morning. We got up as normal, and so I've been really dragging through today. Just took a power nap. I'm gonna get this barn cleaned out and spread that chip that we just made yesterday in here. And we're not moving the calves today that are in the barn. Again, they take backseat to everything else going on here. They're cozy enough where they are. Anyway, I just got to get this done because we got to run on now. With the additionally, and on top of everything else, we now have to bolus all the cows with the calcium bolus. So thank God we got the crush and the handling system. We borrowed the vet's calcium bolus gun because ours is the one that we bought with the boluses we got proves to be too short. So that's a bit of an issue. Anyway, so we're gonna get that done. Hopefully a little bit today. It's just gone 3 o'clock. Oh, look, there's the 2 bull calves I need to catch. Yeah, we still have that to do. So yeah, I need to pull the plug out and get this going. So I am just kicking the shavings around, chips. It's a little faster, actually, a little more exercise than spreading them around with a skid steer. It's getting dark, so I want to get this done so we can load those calves. I'm not going to do the full treatment. Normally I put chip all along the feed rail, but I don't think it needs to go there. I don't like when the cows lay there. So I'm just going to put in the bedding area. There is an idea I've got of maybe getting some Jersey barriers to make a buffer here. Keep that as a feed alley. Keep this as deep bedded pack. We'll just have to see how that goes and what the cost of the Jersey barrier things are. That would certainly conserve a lot of chip. Yeah, I don't think the cleaning will really matter and make a big difference. I didn't have enough chip to, I wouldn't have had enough chip to do the calf pen area. I'm almost out of what we got, so just gonna spread this. It's not as deep as I like it, but again, I'm not locking the cows in here today. So this is a good start. If I can get some more chipping done the end of the week, I will go ahead and add to this. Missed the supermoon coming up, but there it is. I love when the cows come in first time. They're not doing it now. Normally they run their horns and heads through the shavings and stir them all up. The chips. I'm gonna explore it. And then they'll stake out their territory Mabel's gonna decide to eat. Most interesting thing we've done, giving calcium boluses to the cows in the new handling system, and we're doing it in the dark so you can't see it because it's pitch black and not filming well. And we have 8 cows to do, so we're just gonna press on and do it. That light is working, but it doesn't cast enough light here, and I gotta use a headlamp to see what I'm doing. It's just the time change happened, and it stole our hour of light in the evening, so that sucks. The hell is that thing?
I have no idea.
There's a plane just flew by.
A plane flew by us.
That is weird. What the hell? There's another plane up there. It's turning again. It's like rotating.
Yeah.
Because of the emergency nature of last night, hooking the livestock trailer up and then also loading the boys just now, I forgot the tractor needed fuel. So I had to come up with a creative solution to fuel it because the fuel tank is on the opposite side of the tractor from going this way from the thing. So 11.9 gallons. So I had to run it through the cab of the tractor in order to get it fueled, which isn't ideal, but gets the job done. So in an attempt to streamline things down here in the barn, we pulled this gate back. It used to just come straight off the building, and this block was turned upright, and a larger trough was placed on the other side of it. The larger trough had a crack in it, was causing issues, and was difficult to empty when it needed cleaned out. So I decided to lay the block on its side, lowering it and putting this trough, which is only 50 gallons, down on its side. Easier to clean, easier to deal with. It was been fine for whatever length of time, a month or whatever I've done this. Bramble's trying to help. Except I put the shavings in, and now the cows are going to be in the barn. They knocked the trough off and flooded the barn. So I am now going to try and put a couple of cleats on the concrete block and strap the trough to the block. It's not ideal. This isn't the waterer we want here. When this section is concreted, we'll have a line underneath the slab coming up to a standpipe here, and we can put in a proper cow watering system that's frost-free. But for now, I got to deal with this, and I also have to deal with helpful cows. Come on, Luna, out of here. So hopefully I have the right size drill bit and the right size concrete anchors to make this work now today, because I don't want them knocking it off and flooding the barn again. Because it's just literally, as soon as I put the wood chip in here, I walked away. Less than 45 minutes later, 50 gallons of water all across the floor. So anyway, I've got a couple of ratchet straps and some D-rings that I'm going to attach to the concrete. Let's see if we can make this happen. It's not ideal. And it was also using the trough to secure this gate, but we'll see what happens. All right, first, I'm blind, so I need glasses. First D-ring is installed. Now, ideally, I'd go crisscross, but I'm not sure that's going to work. I had the plinth, the block, been wider. Hi, Lana. I had bought some bolts to drill down through here and anchor into the concrete to hold this trough down. I'm not sure that's Oh, well, the block didn't work out, so I'm not sure that would have worked any better, but got to try something. I can't let the cows flood the barn. It's a waste of water. It makes a mess. Typically, now I need to add this much chip again to the floor like I did yesterday. Normally this amount of chip will last a couple days, and then if I add more and more and more, we'll build this up. There would be a problem with this trough, because once we start getting up to the level of the trough with the chip, then the cows can crap in the trough and step in it, and all kinds of mayhem can induce. But we'll see how this works. The whole Lana is exploring the box of goodies. So the whole thing is in an effort to save what I think the proper trough is about $800. So it's frost free, it's insulated, but I don't know. I don't even know how we're going to feed water to this year, because everything's broken. Yeah, the whole system that we used last year failed on us. It was working the year before, so I tore it all out. I don't even remember what it was at this point. Lana, you're a dear, sweet girl. But, yeah, so I don't know what we're going to do. I may have to bury a line temporarily just for the winter, because clearly it's going to be 36 tonight, but tomorrow it's going to be 25. We're only the 5th of November today. Yeah, we're going to get cold fast. I don't have the heating setup done yet. Yeah, so get on with this and go have my lunch. An update while I'm here. Libby, who we treated yesterday for milk fever, and Lottie, who we treated the night before milk fever, 100% today. They're fine. Their milk volumes are a little down, but of course, milk fever is a calcium mobilization issue, and it causes the muscles to stop contracting, so their rumen slows down, their legs don't work. It's a mess. And it's largely feed related. I'm pretty sure it's that silage I bought is contributing factor. It had some mineral imbalance that, after feeding 6 or 7 bales of it, led to this issue. And so we've got the nutritionist working on it. We've got forage samples in. We're going to see if we can rectify it. We gave everybody a calcium bolus last night to make sure we don't have that. It was 2 vet calls because we didn't have the calcium supplements here. We didn't have I know we've got an IV set up here somewhere, but it's old, I think, at this point, because we've never had to use it. And I don't even know where it is, so we're gonna have to get a new one of that. I didn't know how to do a proper IV, or with calcium, when you're flooding it into their system. Well, when you're dripping it into their system, you have to drip it in. You can't flood it in, because you can kill a cow, give them a heart attack. So that's always been a concern of mine. But the veterinarian, when he was here, showed me exactly what to do. Showed me a couple times. I wish he'd let me do it, but it's a little hard. If these weren't my cows, I could do it no problem. But because they're my cows and I love them, and I know each one, any other dairy I've worked on, I haven't formed as close a bond as with my own girls. So that I did find seeing one of them bleed a little bit hard. And that's just me. I'm not normally squeamish, but watching the blood pump out of the needle on Libby was a little disconcerting. They're all fine. We've given everybody calcium bolus. We're going to keep an eye out for milk fever symptoms. We've got the forage analyzed. We've given them calcium. It's hopefully not going to be an issue. It's just a shitty problem caused by the drought and the lack of good quality forage 2 years running, and buying forage that somebody else put up and didn't exactly do it right. So, yeah, come on now, out of here. Let me get on with this, because the cows. Well, did I achieve perfection? hardly, but I got it strapped down. I can't budget. Well, I mean, I can, but I don't think it's coming off of there. The screws and the little D-rings I put on there are rated for 750 pounds each. The straps are rated for 750 pounds each, so two together, 1,500 pounds. It's not something that gets shoved a lot. I think it's just something that probably because it wasn't strapped down, it could move. When it's full of water, it can't move. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something. It's not ideal. Not having this big opening right here closed in isn't ideal. But here we go, another winter without the rest of the barn. Thanks politics. Thanks COVID. Thanks world chaos. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. Anyway, we're doing what we can. See this here? Barely 6 months and it's broken. It won't stay latched. I put one of these on, I bet you that doesn't last 4 months. You wonder why farmers are always angry, farmers are frustrated, blah, blah, blah. It's stupid stuff like these clips. They don't last that long. They're getting more and more expensive. And to be able to clip the gate closed and not have the cows break through here when they're pressing on it to get into the parlor. We burned through, I think that's 2-3 clips probably this year alone. And we're what, the 10th month. So 11th month just started. Yeah, so anyway, 3 clips in 11 months. So that's one example of many of stuff that just breaks. And it only gets, that gate only gets used twice a day. 6 times, basically 8 times. And yeah, that's worn out. 3 clips worn out. So what's that? 7 times 21, 20, 24 bucks. Well, here's something I didn't think of in my genius idea. Our cows 90% have horns. How are they going to get them caught on those red straps? Are they going to play with them, the straps? Luna doesn't seem to be getting her horns tangled in there, but you never know. Jerseys can be obnoxiously curious and wonderful, but obnoxious. Anyway, I'm going to come back and check on this. I'm going to go put the tools away, refresh their silage, get everything put away, see how this works, and then go have lunch. It's about 4 o'clock. And move on to the next thing. The last night, it took us about 20 minutes to give all the cows, well, 7 cows, because we'd already done one with the vet earlier in the day. And he lent us his bolus gun, which was great, because ours wasn't up to the task. About 20 minutes to give them all a bolus with the new chute. And man, if we hadn't had the chute, somebody's got their horn cap off in there. If we hadn't had the chute, yesterday's work probably wouldn't have been possible. Certainly giving Luna her shots when she was sick wouldn't have been possible. And, we justified the purchase of the chute because it's cheaper than shoulder surgery. After I damaged my shoulder dealing with that bull calf a while back during the summer, we decided, being able to vaccinate and work on sick animals and do preg checking. We've preg checked a couple of cows already. We're going to run the rest of the herd through here. Even as slow as we're going and walking them through, because they're not used to it. They're not beef animals. We're not cramming them through and slamming this thing and trying to go hell for leather. We want them to be used to this. Luna did not want to go in here, obviously, because she'd had 10 different shots to get her treatment when she was in here 2 separate occasions. So she did not want to go through here. The rest of the cows were mostly curious and hadn't been through here. And we gave them their bolus. It was late at night, so I couldn't film it. But Alice and I both said, well worth the money, especially because of what we've been through the last month or so with the cows. Had never considered having a chute before. This one was the right price with the gates and everything. It made sense. And just in terms of handling the cows. And the vet was, you know, he's like, oh my God, Aeroquip, that's great. Perfect. And he said, put a roof over it. He wants to see a roof over it. But anyway, it's not going to stay here. This is an okay spot for now, but it can't go here permanently. But yeah, really impressed with it. Really love the fact that it's here and we can just, you know, if we have to run a cow in here to preg checker, or when we still have half the herd open, which sucks. That means they're not bred. That means that 9 months from now, late in the summer, we're going to be calving. I don't like autumn calving. I much prefer the bulk of the calves coming in the spring and then the rest in June and July. But a couple of cows slipped their pregnancies, and for whatever reason, or didn't take. A couple of them have been slow to come into heat. We've missed a couple of heats on a few of the cows. So now that we're doing our own preg checking with a blood test, it's a little bit easier to tell, a little bit better, but having this is essential. So yeah, this was money well spent. Even at even sacrificing other things that we've needed, this was worth the money. Now the cows are going to be in the barn more or less until spring. I am planning on creating an area out in the field that can be a sacrificial area that they can go out to when I have to clean the barn. On sunny, nice days during the weather, I can put a bale out there and feed them out there during the winter, basically in the laneway that they already tear up. But they need to be in the barn. Feed them in there. Just checking on the heifers. Put the heifers separate for now so they can be grained separately. And then we still have to preg check 2 of the heifers. Anyway, the cows are going to be in here, but I also made the determination as of tonight, we're not milking nights anymore. We're only going to milk once a day. We don't need the milk volume. They'll produce about 20% less, 30% less milk, but we can deal with that. We're starting in the winter. Holiday cheese is mostly made. And then we have a dead period in January and February. Unfortunately, we should be able to get by even with sales picking up, if they're hopefully stronger this year than previous last year for sure. We'll be able to deal with it. And then come calving, in bulk of the cows theoretically are going to calve in early March. So 4, I think, cows. 1 may calve in December. We can just leave her with her calf on at night instead of milking her at night. So, all right, so I'm just checking to make sure the float valve turned off. And it did. Hi, Mabel. So anyway, yeah, we're not going to milk at night. It's just one less thing to deal with. The cows aren't strained for milk. Their udders aren't bursting in the evening on silage alone rather than silage and grass and grain. You know, they won't be putting out the volume of milk. And so, yeah, once a day milking, which will free up my afternoons and evenings and make life a little nicer. But all that comes as a trade-off, because it does mean more work. It does mean I got to be down here in the evenings pushing up silage. I'll have to do an evening check rather than just, you know, we milk them and then when they're, you know, usually they go out to pasture. We don't really check on them at night when they're out on pasture. But in the barn, things can happen. Stuff happens. So we'll do a nightly check on them. And means I got to clean the barn more often than I have been. So yeah, it adds to the workload in some regards of having them in for the winter, but by taking away that night milking for a few months, gives us a break, keeps us from burning out, and just also reduces our cost, reduces our electricity bill a little bit. Well, income, is stalled during the winter, so it's helpful all the way around. And tell you what, I'm actually looking forward to not having to milk the cows in another hour.